COVID virus is morphing into some new variants, but often what you think may be COVID is old-fashioned, painful strep throat.
So how can you tell the difference, and how can you deal with strep? For that information, we go to Dr. Matthew Weissman of Mount Sinai, Beth, Israel. Doctor, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thanks so much for having me.
Well, doctor, we understand there are some common symptoms. Both ailments can share among them: fever, headache, sore throat, of course, swollen lymph nodes. So tell us the best way to distinguish strep throat.
So I agree. I think it's hard. I mean, fever and sore throat, as you said, can be a part of flu. It can be a part of COVID. Things like body aches, cough, runny nose, those tend to be more COVID and flu symptoms. Strep tend to have more findings on the exam, more pus on the tonsils, swollen lymph nodes, things like that. But it's really hard to tell.
So remind us then how it's transmitted, strep throat?
So strep throat is transmitted a lot of the ways that COVID is transmitted, through respiratory droplets. So coughing or sneezing on other people, sharing cans or glasses, or if if spittle or something gets on a surface and people touch it and then touch their face.
So I mean, what treatment do you recommend for strep?
So I think it's hard. Like, the first, make sure to get tested, because it's really hard to identify just based on physical exam, even if people see pus or red spots on their palate. So really important to get either a rapid strep test, or if the rapid strep test is negative, to get a throat culture. And that involves going to see your doctor or going to urgent care or somewhere to get that taken care of. And then if it is strep throat, taking antibiotics is really important.
But there can be false negatives too, right? Because I have a friend, a coworker, who actually had a child who tested for strep and it was negative, and then symptoms didn't go away, went back for a second test and found out it actually was strep.
Yeah, so a lot like we're seeing with COVID, the rapid tests for strep are really good if they're positive, but they tend to miss a number of strep throat infections. So you're absolutely right, especially in kids. It's really important that if the rapid test is negative and your suspicion is high, that you do a throat culture. It takes a couple of days to come back, so it's not as fast and easy as the rapid strep test, but it's way more accurate. It has way fewer false negatives if you get the throat culture and wait a couple of days.
I see, okay.
Okay, well, will strep, go away by itself if it's left untreated?
So I think the big problem with strep is that risk that if it's untreated, it can lead to other medical conditions, in particular rheumatic fever, which can cause all kinds of problems with your bones and joints, and most importantly with your hearts and your heart valves. So really important, if it is strep, to get antibiotics and to finish the full course of the antibiotics. It's nice that people often feel better after the first day or so on antibiotics. They're not contagious anymore, so they can go back to school or work. But it's really important to finish that course, because that's what makes sure that the bacteria that cause strep throat aren't helping to cause problems with the heart valves that can lead to bigger issues down the road.
Wow, that's scary, actually. We've all heard of long COVID, symptoms that last for quite a while. Are there lasting problems from strep too?
I mean, the good news is most people get better right away from strep throat with antibiotics. There are people who are untreated who get rheumatic fever. Certainly there are complications that happen, although they're rare. People can get kidney problems. Kids in particular can get scarlet fever, which involves a rash and some other symptoms on the body. But most people, if you recognize the symptoms early, you know to look for the swollen glands and the pus on your tonsils, you go to the doctor, you get tested, and you get antibiotic treatment. That's really good for making sure things don't happen.
Yeah, well, we've all been educated about, subvariants of COVID. Is strep throat, does it have any variants that are becoming, resistant to the antibiotics that we've currently been using against it?
Penicillin is really good for treating strep throat. And so that's not such a concern for most people. For people who are penicillin allergic, the other antibiotics don't work quite as well. And the good news, there was a study that came out not that long ago that said most people who are told they're penicillin allergic because they had a reaction as a child or something, most of those people, like 90% of those people, actually grow out of the penicillin allergy.
Really?
So before you get strep throat, if you're somebody who thinks you're penicillin allergic, it may be worth going to see an allergist to see if that's still true or if you've grown out of it.
Well, that's interesting because I am allergic to penicillin. But my reaction was when I was a child, so maybe I'm not anymore. Who knows?
You never know.
Worth getting checked out.
Yeah, I'll have to do that. Are there people, though, that are more susceptible to getting strep?
I mean, I think the biggest age group is around age 5 to 15.
Okay.
I mean, mostly people who are exposed in school. And then among adults, it's really people who are around kids the most. So either people with young kids at home or people who work in a daycare center or a school on a school bus. Those are the people we worry about the most because they have the most exposure. And then obviously seasonality, is part of this. And I think, Craig, you were pointing to this before, that as we move into winter, as people are going inside more, are spending more time together, and especially more time unmasked, that increases the risk for everybody of spreading strep around.
All right. Well, Dr. Matthew Weissman from Mount Sinai, Beth, Israel, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thanks so much.
Great
Take care.
information. I got to go to the allergist now.
There you go. You learned something.
All right. Thanks, Dr. Weissman.